So the video I just did, there was a part one, but I lost part one. I had apparently the recording was corrupted. So I lost the first part of that video. The first part of the video was stating, well, I mostly go over it in the second video, but the first video was stating that the video that Elmer did about um, Lucifer not existing, he's basing himself off of mystical books and not biblical reference. Um, the Zohar, which is actually a Kabbalistic book, um, they do refer the the Kabbalah does refer to Lucifer as the adversary. They don't refer him to a specific name. They do refer him as the adversary, the opposite. The opposite. In Hebrew, it's a word. I don't remember what it is, but that's basically what his name would be. There's always going to be an adverse energy, basically. Um, there's always going to be an adverse energy in everything. And it's not even about in everything, oh, in every culture there's an adverse, because there is an adverse energy in every culture. Um, in certain cultures, the energy itself has a double side to it. Like, let's say Kali is actually Parvati, right? So Parvati is light, Kali is darkness. Um, does that make Kali evil? No. Does that make Parvati good? Not necessarily. Not obligatory. Um, not habitually. Yeah, not habitually. And I'm assuming. I'm not saying Parvati was taking place in some kind of mischievous deeds. I'm just saying it doesn't mean just because other people see you as a light being, that doesn't necessarily mean that whatever people understand what a light being is actually who you are. Not speaking of Parvati, but speaking of light energy and dark energy as a whole. So any human can be seen as a light entity, but not every human knows what a light entity actually is. Only the light entity himself or herself actually knows who they are and what they do. So even in the Dead Sea Scrolls and ancient text like that, there's a being referred as Enki. Enki also meaning light bearer. Enki is seen as the serpent that was in the Garden of Eve, or the creator of everything. Enki is seen as the creator of everything. Enki is actually the light bearer, which he also is the snake in the Garden of Eden. So that would make Enki Lucifer. Um, and Dead Sea Scrolls, Kybalion, Dead Sea Scrolls, and Emerald Tablets, and Atlantis, those texts were before the Bible was ever written. So there is reference to Lucifer before the existence of the Christian Bible. Um, and as I was saying in the last video, because you're probably gonna look at that video, so I'm just gonna go fly over it. There's energy There's always opposite energies. You cannot be in the left hand path and there is no encompassing energy. Because the thing is, the word God, to some people, God is an old man sitting on a throne somewhere. But the actual word God means the energy surrounding you. The light energy surrounding you is actually what people think God is. That's not what I think. I think the energy surrounding you is actually Lucifer. And there is God too. I think, in my opinion, God is something that was helping Lucifer in his great deeds. But that's my opinion. God is an energy, some form of generator, from some form of plane of existence, for lack of better words, that exists to help the darkness in matters of creation. Because people always say, Christianhood always say, in the beginning there was light. But in the beginning there was no light. In the beginning there was darkness. And then the light came from the darkness. So God could be the darkness, or God could be light. This is up for debate. My belief is Lucifer is light, and he came from the darkness. And I believe that that's actually the true story of Lucifer, that he is God. Lucifer is actually God, and people mistake God. People mistake the darkness for God. So I'm gonna let you figure that one out by yourself, because I don't want to get into. I have to be responsible and let you make your own decision in your life about God and Lucifer, because these two entities are way more powerful than my little ass. So I can't. I am not on a level where I can speak about these two entities on that plane, on that dimension, because it's gonna hinder me if I do so. So I will not do that. But with what I just told you, you make the assumptions that you want to make, or you can make the research that you want to make. The thing is about the thing that I don't like about Elmer's video about Lucifer doesn't exist, is the fact that he's a left-hand path practitioner that uses spirits, demonic spirits, Jab Ulugau, come like he said in his video, in one of his videos. So he uses demons, because Jab is a demon. He uses demons and spirits, malevolent spirits, in order to do certain tasks. He uses zombies, werewolves, demons, but then he makes a video saying that Lucifer does not exist. So the question here is, how can werewolves, vampires, demons exist in your practice but they don't have somebody that oversees them. There's no God that oversees, there's no principality or encompassing energetical strength that encompasses those beings. So basically, what he's saying is these demonic entities come from absolutely nowhere. They come from nowhere. Now, the thing is, I just saw something that was disturbing. I just saw something that was disturbing. I don't, like I said before, I communicate with spirits. I do not practice voodoo, but sometimes I do communicate with them. Now, the thing is, I haven't, but that's all. But it was disturbing to me to see he destroyed somebody else's altar. That looked very disturbing to me, because what I know about voodoo is that it comes from, it's like, voodoo is like painting a picture. Voodoo is like you sit on your butt and you have a canvas in front of you. And then you just let your inspiration guide you. From my experience, that's what voodoo is. So if you go to somebody else's house and that person has an altar and you destroy that altar, it's a bit weird. It's the question is, the problem with that video is because I don't have any context to the video. All you see is the guy walk into the house and break everything. So the thing is, the reason why context is king in this situation is we would have to know, did this person create that altar him or herself? Or was it someone else that told that person to put those things there? Because if it's someone else that told that person to put those things there, I would understand that he might feel the need to get rid of certain things in that altar. But if the person made that altar themselves, they were guided to those items, what he just did was a heinous act. Like, it was like an act of pure jealousy. But like I said before, I don't know. I don't know. I hope for that person that had that altar that it was the latter. It was somebody else that told him to do that, and that he actually did fix it. I hope that he did fix it. But I would like for that person, whoever that person is, that he fixed the altar, that would be great if that person made a video. That would be awesome if that person would make a video about it. Because that was disturbing to me. I was kind of like, whoa, walking to somebody else's altar, just destroy shit from somebody else's altar. That was kind of crazy, and smacking the things on the floor. I mean, usually you could, anyway, you go put it somewhere else, and then you get rid of it in that other place. It was kind of weird to just see him just smack everything on the ground of that person's house, But anyway, he has a team of people working, so I guess it's all right, I don't, he has a team of people working, so I hope that everything was all right, because those spirits that he let loose could come back to bite the person. You know, so let's just hope for that person's sake that that turned out all right. Anyway, I certainly hope so. Because the thing is, I have a real difficulty taking this guy seriously with the nonsensical things that he's projecting on you guys. I mean, just the video he did the other day that was misinformation about the hermetic principles of emotions. That's not something that you're supposed to be doing. You can be mad at me for certain things, but you can't be, just because you're mad at me, that doesn't mean that you have to change information that all spiritual people know from the back of their hand to the front of their hands. The things that was said in my video where I said emotions are not your best friend is something that you can read in any hermetic text, any spiritual text, whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, all whatever. Hermetic, Kabbalic, the principles, all of those. There is no spiritual book or mystic book that will say that what I said in that video was wrong. The Kybalion too. So making a video saying the contrary is weird. And he does that a lot. He lies a lot. And I'm not saying like he's a liar or some shit, like I'm not accusing him to be a liar, but his emotions are getting in the way of his logic. And this is why emotions are not your best friend. Because if I say something that's true but you want to make it seem like I'm crazy, talk about another subject that I haven't spoken of that will make you look better and that would maybe make me look crazy. But you can't lie. You can't like use something that was said correctly and then say that it's not said correctly. That doesn't make any sense. Because now you're just giving out false information to all of your viewers. And some of your viewers aren't that stupid. They're going to know that you just said some bullshit. They're maybe not going to tell you, but in the back of their mind, they'll be like, I might not agree with the guy that he's fucking with, but I don't think that what he said in his video was wrong either. So now you're just straight up bullshitting the people, and they might not say that you bullshitting, but they know that you just bullshitted. They're just not going to tell you. So you're saying Lucifer does not exist. Like I said before, there's no way, shape, or form that you would be capable of doing whatever you're doing if Lucifer did not exist. As I've said before, I mean no disrespect to any culture when I say this, but there is a hierarchy of creation. There's a hierarchy of creation. Angels are above everything else. Lucifer supposedly was an angel, allegedly. That makes him above all of the powers that you use. And not only that, he's a left hand path. So if you use left hand path, you're using infernal power. If you're doing necromancy, you're using infernal power. And voodoo is a form of necromancy. If you're using left hand path loas, demonic entities, to hurt, maim, curse, whatever, you're using infernal power. You're not using light power. You're using powers that come from hell. You're using the energy that comes from hell. Guess who's the boss of hell? Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call it. You can call him antimatter if you want. You can call him dark matter or antimatter if you want to. If that makes you more comfortable. But whatever you choose to call it, you have to know that that thing exists, or else you wouldn't be able to do the things that you do. So when I see a man like Elmira acting the way he's acting with this ongoing battle that he has with me, and then I see him go into somebody's house and break things on the altar, it kind of makes me worried. It kind of makes me worried. It makes me worried. Because I don't know if this man actually holds the power to do those things. Because this man does not believe in demons, even though he uses demons. This man does not believe in Lucifer, even though he's using Lucifer's strength. He loves listening to rap music. Where do you think that comes from? Who do you think gives people the inspiration to rap? Where do you think the inspiration of music and rhythm comes from? Comes from Lucifer. God doesn't like music. God hates music. God does not like mathematics. He hates math. God hates psychology, math, music, art. That's pretty much it. And all those things are things that Lucifer is known for. Is known to inspire people. And angels. Lucifer has the power to influence inspiration within angels. So they can create choruses to praise their Lord. You like rap music? You like Lucifer, man. Even if you like R&B, you still like Lucifer. You like lusting after women? That's some Lucifer energy. If you believe in marriage and not having intercourse before marriage, then you're a man of God. But if you believe in enjoying a woman's body when you so wish, that's Lucifer energy. Luciferianism. So this man that believes in vampirism thinks that vampirism comes from black people. I think I'm assuming. I don't know if that's true, but I'm assuming. Because the reason why I'm assuming that is because he said Lilith does not exist. But Lilith is the mother of all demons, werewolves, demons, and vampires. All those creatures, she's their mom. She's our mom. She's our mom. So you believe in vampires, but you don't believe in Lilith. You believe in left hand path, but you don't believe in Lucifer. I mean, there's a clear disconnect. He has a clear disconnect in his spiritual process. I don't see how you guys can sit there and listen to this guy talk, because it's just, I mean, I'm not saying that he has no knowledge at all, but it's just like some of the things he says is like incredibly false. I mean, like it's beyond insanity. I mean, like, it's beyond insanity because you can't. It just doesn't add up, bro. Like, it doesn't add up. How can you be left hand path? You believe in demonic spirits, because Kafou, like I said in my other video, Kafou is a demonic spirit. It's a demonic spirit, man, and he's a blood, and what I mean, bro, like, he's a blood and shit, and he's a demonic spirit, and but so how can you like believe in Kafou, that is a depiction of Satan in the voodoo culture, and say that Lucifer doesn't exist, when your patron, or the guy that you use most of the time, I think, is a representation of Lucifer? Baron Samedi is also a representation of Lucifer. Some people think Baron Samedi is actually Samael, the god of death. And Samael is also seen to supposedly, he might be Lucifer too. So you have Satan, Samael, and there's another what's his Baphomet, right? So Baphomet, Satan, and Samael, or might be Lucifer. It depends on what culture you're reading, but they all think that might be actually him. It might be Satan. Like, Satan might be Lucifer, Samael might be Lucifer, and Baphomet might be Lucifer. And they all three could not be that, or they could be all three different, or they could all be representation of Lucifer. Some people think Beelzebub is Lucifer. I've heard that somewhere. I don't remember in what text or book or whatever, but I've seen that. So the question now remains, the question that everybody should ask themselves is, how is a guy that does not believe in polarity powers, that does not believe in hermetic principles, that does not believe in Lucifer, even though he's using demons, does not believe in Lilith, even though he's talking about vampirism, does not believe in demons, even though he's using demons? How can he believe all these? How can he has all those beliefs and be able to do what he's doing? That's a fucking mystery to me, man. And I'm gonna repeat it. Demonic demons, the seven princes of hell are stronger than voodoo spirits. And I'm not saying that because I'm gonna be like voodoo spirits can't fight. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in the hierarchy of things, voodoo spirits are gods. They are not angels. The seven princes of hell are angels. They are hereditarily stronger than voodoo gods. They're hereditarily stronger than Greek gods. They're hereditarily stronger than Norse gods. They're you get it. You know what I mean, bro? They are, by consequence of their place in the creation story, stronger than gods. Of course, if you know a bunch of gods band up together, they might be able to do a little bit of damage. No pun intended. No offense meant. No, I mean, that's just logical. You know what I mean? Um, but nevertheless, they hold immense and great power. They are part of your life. Lucifer is next to you right now. Lucifer is omnipotent. Most people think he's omniscient. He's actually omnipotent. He's next to you right now. You got God next to you, and you got Lucifer next to you. You can choose to talk to whoever you want to, and they'll answer you. Anyway, they can answer me. He's next to you right now, as we speak. He's always there. He's always been there. There's not one moment in your entire life that Lucifer wasn't present. And when you're chosen by Lilith, there's not one moment in your entire life that Lilith wasn't there too. So, but that's another story for another time. Lucifer is actually omnipotent. He can be in multiple places at the same time. The only thing is he's the adversary of God. So there's certain things he can do, and at some times there's certain things he can't do, because that will create a internal battle, and that's a battle that nobody's gonna win. So God and Lucifer have to have some form of mutual respect for each other. Not that they like each other, it's just that it's just an unnecessary battle. You know, you can't really, it's like you're fighting your twin. You know, you can't you might win, you might lose. It's your twin, so your twin knows all of your movements, all of your ideas, all of your techniques, all of your, you know, you both fight the same, you have almost the same power, you have the same amount of power, you both, like, you know what I mean? So it's like you gotta have, when you're in a situation like that, you have to have a mutual respect for your for your opposite, right? Because, you know, battling this person's like way too much trouble. You know what I mean? It's way too much trouble, and that's one of the things that's going on with true left hand patters or true demonologists. We have to respect the adverse power. We don't have a choice, because it's gonna be an unnecessary battle. We have to let people pick and choose their own sides. You know, they have to They have to pick and choose their own sides. At some point, maybe that's not going to be the case, but as of right now, it's definitely the case. So like I said before, I don't mean no disrespect. I don't want no, this is not, we can talk about the other thing, the whole, you know what I'm talking about, but that, don't come at me and be like, oh, voodoo spirit this and blah blah. No, no, no. This, I mean no disrespect. I'm just speaking on a scale of creation and what you might forget sometimes. And voodoo spirits ain't got no problem with Satan. They ain't got no problem with Lucifer. They don't have a problem with Lucifer. And Lucifer doesn't have a problem with them either. They have a mutual respect for each other. From what I've seen, they have a mutual respect for each other, because Baron Samedi might want me to do some work with him, but it doesn't piss off. Like, Lucifer doesn't come into the room and be like, the fuck out of here, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing here, blah blah. And neither does Baron Samedi. And these guys are the two main bosses of their appropriate powers and schools. So when they don't insult each other, they don't, they ain't got, there's no, I don't even, when both of them are in the room, I don't even feel like queasy or something like that. Because when this energy mixes and you just feel like nauseous and shit like that, I don't get that. So that means to me that there's no real negative emotion towards each other, because I would have felt it physically, if that was the case. So like I said before, there's when I say that they're stronger, it's because they are stronger. It's not because I don't respect voodoo spirits, or I think voodoo spirits are weak or some shit like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, they're just stronger. It is what it is. It's not, what I mean? And I don't mind it. I don't know if that bothers somebody, but me, it doesn't bother me, because I know that voodoo spirits can do the things that they can do. So it's not like I doubt voodoo spirits abilities. It doesn't bother me. It's not like, because I wasn't a full-blown voodoo practitioner, but even when I used to practice a little bit, it's not like in the back of my mind, well, you're not as strong as Lucifer, so what the fuck, or I don't really care. That really didn't, it wasn't a big deal to me. It wasn't like, it's not a subject of, I don't even feel like it's a subject of conversation. I don't even think it's something that people need to talk about, to be quite honest. You might want to talk about it on a logical level, on a logical scale, as well, they're demons and they have a lot of power. They created the universe, so of course, they might be stronger than a lot of people, and they are more involved in your life than you think. It's like, I made the analogy of the car battery. You got a plus and a minus sign. You put that battery inside of your car, and your car runs. So the notion of God and Lucifer, or Satan, the notion of God and Lucifer is actually the plus and the minus sign on the car battery. And then you take that car battery, and the car battery is actually like your own mana, your own, ether, and that ether is inside of the car, which is your body, and that permits you to use the energetic and magnetic poles of the plus and the minus sign. So if you practice magic, You gotta have a plus and minus sign. You have to have a car battery. You have to have polarities. You have to have magnetism. You have to have natural magnetism. The magnetic pole of the earth is important. The magnetic pole of the earth around the moon and the sun is just as important as the small radio frequencies of the magnetic spectrum. And those magnetic fields are things that permit you to use magic in the first place. But if you think that your car battery only runs on the plus sign, you might have some trouble starting your car. But when you understand that your car battery actually functions on plus and minus, your car might be as fast as a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You know what I mean? You might like blaze the streets. So once again, we have a man here that is not aware of all these things, but practices magic. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I have a hard fucking time believing someone that thinks the way he thinks is capable of magical practices. Because it just seems to me like he skipped fucking school, bro. Like, and I mean, it just seems to me like he fucking skipped school, guy. Like, he fucking skipped school, bro. Like hardcore. And I see that he has a lot of books. Like, he's talking about me reading a lot of books. Shit, he has a lot of books too. Like, he has a bunch of books. He's been showing, all the books he showed recently are all different. So he has a lot of books too. He reads a lot of books, but is he just reading books fast and not trying to understand the principalities and actually use the principalities in the books, or he just doesn't read the books? I mean, it could be for show too. Like, some of the books that he showed in his last video look pretty fucking new. Like, it looks like he bought it like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? He got on Amazon and started buying all the books he could possibly find just to make himself look better. And you might hate me for saying these things because you love that man. Because you know this guy, you've been following him for so long and all that, and that's okay. You got the right to your opinion, but you can even choose to think that I'm the one not being logical. But at the end of the day, you can't keep lying to yourself. At the end of the day, you're not gonna listen to my content and feel like you didn't learn anything, or you're not gonna listen to my content and feel like what I was saying was bullshit. It's just not gonna happen. But if you look at his videos where he's saying the contrary of what I'm saying just because he's mad, and the worst part is some of the things that he might say the contrary of, or some things that he's supposed to use in his everyday life, shit don't make sense. It doesn't fucking add up. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. But like I said, I don't know the guy, and shit, if he does have power, you one lucky motherfucker, man. Like, you know what I mean, bro? Like, if you do got power, bro, like, you are one lucky bastard, bro, because you skipped a lot of things. You skipped a lot of things. I didn't skip anything, bro. Like, everything that was taught to me by the gods or books and experience. Like, I didn't skip shit. And I went from Christian, the Enochian magic, the fucking voodoo, the like white magic, well, supposed white magic, and then and some black, and in the middle of that there was some black magic too. And because I used to be a firm believer of fighting fire with fire. So it's not like I've never practiced any form of demonology before in the past. It's just that I only used it to defend myself and shit like that. So I didn't skip school, bro. Like I've practiced and been in multiple areas of witchcraft, bro, and I've learned a lot from these people. And I also learned a lot from other people too, because humans philosophy is very powerful. The philosopher's stone. When you're in search of the philosopher's stone, which is called actually alchemy, but alchemy is the power of magic that humans can use for themselves, and then some. Alchemy is very powerful. Philosophy is very powerful. So I learned from other humans too. I learned from humans, gods, spirits, practice, all that shit. I did not skip school, bro. But when we look at you, the way you practice your things, it's kind of weird. Because I don't think voodoo is not. I mean, a lot of people feel like voodoo might be like he basically lied to you guys. Like he used one of my snippets to make it seem like I was saying that people that practice voodoo are primitive, and that's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying at all. I was saying that some people think that people that practice voodoo are primitive, like they don't know how to read books and blah blah blah. But in actuality, voodoo's practicing voodoo is not gonna make you stupid. It's gonna make you smarter. They make you smarter. They teach you things. So it's kind of like hard to believe that you skipped all of those gnoses and arrived in the place that you are right now. Because like I said before, this person does not believe in demons. This person does not believe in Lilith. This person does not believe in Lucifer. This person, it's just nonsensical. It's just nonsensical. But the same person that says he doesn't believe in that shit is someone that says he practiced left hand path. And those are demonic spirits. It's just, it doesn't add up. So, like I said before, man, like that altar, and somebody asked him in his last, live session about the altar that he destroyed. He didn't answer. I don't know if he didn't answer because he didn't want to answer or something like that, but I don't know, man. Like, that shit was crazy, man. Like, like that's to me, that shit was crazy. But I don't that's not how I would have done it. But I'm not a big voodoo practitioner too. But that's just not how I would have done it. I don't see why he had to do it that way. It was weird. I have a bad feeling about that shit, man. Like, I had a bad feeling about that shit. I didn't like seeing that, but it was weird, dude. It was weird. The last person I saw do some shit like that was a pastor, and he was kind of like, those kind of like, he was preaching that, you must destroy the powers, the evil, the black magic, blah blah blah, and it was a voodoo statue, and and he took the voodoo statue and he was stepping on it, you know. But the thing is, this guy is kind of like, he's the kind of pastor's like, oh, give me, you know, give me money kind of pastor, you know what I mean? Like he's rich, he's full of money and shit like that. And this guy's like sitting there and he's like crushing this voodoo statue with his feet, you know, in the church. So I was kind of like, yo, that's crazy. So that kind of like, that's what it reminds me of when I saw when I saw his video of him, you know, smashing the things on the ground. That's what it reminded me. It reminded me of that pastor that, you know, that was smashing shit on the ground. And the worst part is, like, his dad is a pastor too. And you know, like, you know, I'm just saying, I'm making connections where there's no connections to be made. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit that he says that sounds fucking fishy to me, bro. And I mean, look, I mean, the guy, like, he has this whole, you know, racism thing going on. Like, he's always talking about like white people this and white people that. He's calling white people mana, you know, and shit like that, bro. Like, 2022, and you still have prejudice against white people. Like, you're still racist. You're still thinking like that, bro. Like, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, you know, this dude, Elmero comes from the back country, bro. Like, Elmero comes from the back country, bro. Like, that's how, like, Haitians in back country, like, that's not even back country. I'm not even gonna, you know, but that's how Haitians in the back country think. Like, look at white people, they'll be like, look at that white guy, look at that white person, you know. But there's people in America that's like that too. Like, there's Americans that are like that. There's a lot of Black Americans that are like that too. They're kind of like, you know, especially Haitians. They're kind of like, you know, look at this mother, look at this white guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, but I don't know. It just doesn't, man. I'm my bad, dog. Like, I know I'm beating the dead horse here, but I don't know. I just, everything about this guy is wrong, bro. Like, that's just you know, like everything about this guy is fucking wrong, guy. Like, it's Wong Tong, bro. Like, anyways, I'll make another video, man. I can see you guys later, man. Peace out.